game. Not exactly an offensive display by Denver or Seattle. Broncos begin at their 41, 1st and 10. Russell spins his way, a couple of 360s up to the 44, brought down by Terry Wood. John Elway is 6 of 15 in the first half for just 49 yards. As we take a look at the passing chart, you'll note that just one pass of 21 yards or more, but not getting it downfield to his receivers, a lot like Rick Meyer.
Right. Well, you can see he's 2 for 4 in each of the flats, 1 for 2 in the middle, but they're all short ones. And Jim Fossil, the offensive coordinator, said, you know, the running game's been a little iffy, so we've really done ball control offense with the short pass that John can throw so well.
Russell has 79 yards rushing, looking for more. Good pursuit by Seattle. He's run out of bounds by Orlando Waters.
You see, Orlando Waters hit him up there in the flat, and you're looking at a significant size difference there. And Orlando, instead of going, well, I'm going to drag this guy down to the ground and bulldog him, he said, how about if we just kind of like push out of bounds? Neither one of us has to fall down.
Here's a look at Waters, the rookie out of Arkansas, and Leonard Russell. 3rd and 6. Elway lots of time, evades the Seattle pressure and picks up the 1st down. Sliding his way to the Seattle 44. It was all Elway in the first half with a 12-yard improv for the game's only score.
Well, some great pressure up front. Cortez Kennedy, the center of your screen, just getting a piece of him. But John, even in his elder years, still very slippery. A guy that can get away. He doesn't want to run as much as he has in the past. But if he's forced to, he's going to do it. And he's going to do it well, as we see in this play.
Timeout is called. And we'll take a timeout as well. 11:29 left in the 3rd. Denver. And we have not heard a lot from Brian Blades either on Seattle's offensive side of the football. But here's Denver at the Seahawks 45, 1st and 10. Elway complete, and then out of the hands. Shannon Sharp couldn't hold on to it. And he's had more than just a couple of those today. He hasn't been able to find the handle.
Well, the ball's coming in there pretty hard. Shannon, you'll see, crossing over the middle, just breaking, setting, waiting for the dump, and gets it, but wasn't able to get the handle on it quick enough to keep from having the defender slap it away.
Terry Wooden over there on the play defensively, and 2nd down and 10.
Sure didn't look like Shannon was moving very well on that ankle either.
He's in pain.
He's coming out, spit! He's coming out! He's coming out!
Fake to Milburn. Elway down the middle of the field and almost picked off. Bob Spatulski, a linebacker there in coverage of Shannon Sharp, showing the athleticism of a speedy corner.
Well, he was walking step for step with Shannon Sharp on that one. In fact, he located the ball before Shannon even had a chance to break on it. Great defensive play by Spatulski. Good awareness, not just on coverage on Shannon, but on getting his eyes back, finding the quarterback, and identifying where the ball was being thrown.
Spatulski close to his 2nd career interception, but he knocks the ball down and brings up 3rd down.
Coming out here!
Again, Elway forced to improv, and he gets it inside the 40. He'll be short of the 1st down. Spatulski makes the stop on Elway. It's been basically a story of 2 running backs, Chris Warren for the Seahawks, Leonard Russell for the Broncos, and John Elway's improvisation.
And we talked before about John not really wanting to run as much as he used to. Well, I think he feels that it's a necessity today. The middle of that defense open wide open. You're seeing some stunts on the far side. On the near side, Cortez getting a little bit wide left, the center of that defensive line wide open.
Bruins punt, angling toward the left side, takes a good hop. And Seattle will begin at about the 12-yard line. Well, tonight, prime time is action-packed on NBC at 7 o'clock, 6 Central. The show the critics call compelling, provocative, and impressive. Let's just ask Bob Golick what he thinks of Earth 2. You set the VCR last week.
I set the VCR up. I taped it. It was I loved it. I mean, I'm a big sci-fi buff, so the idea of having Earth 2 on and then Sequest on after that, I'm going to catch the early flight after this. In fact, I may have to leave at the end of the third quarter.
Oh, I learned what a cyborg meant in our production meeting from you, Bob, and I'm happy to thank for that. Well, a rare pass completion for Rick Mirer. He finds Kelvin Martin. And I believe that is just the second pass complete for Mirer on the afternoon.
Well, if they're going to get his confidence back, they're going to have to start doing the quick throws, the little short slants like you saw on that one, the ones that are more high percentage. I think in order to get Mirer back where he needs to be, he's got to gain some confidence. He's got to get some completions.
This one off the mark and intended for Brian Blades. We brought up his name. He came into the game as the AFC's leading wide receiver, second overall in the NFL. Came in with 51 catches and on pace to surpass his record-breaking 80 last year, but he has been silent today.
Well, great separation from the corner. It just gets away, but the ball, he turned around. The ball was on its way, a little bit high, coming hard, and you can see Brian's reaction. Just very disappointed that he wasn't able to get a grasp on that ball.
So 3rd down and 2 from the 20. Flag is down as Mirer wanted Rob Thomas. Incomplete.
Well, when it rains, it pours.
Prior to the snap, false start on 73, the left tackle, 5 yards, repeat, 3rd down.
And that is Ray Roberts.
He was quoted as saying, he goes, you know what, I just don't understand what's going on. He goes, we practice well, we work on holding the ball, we work on the 2-minute drills, we do all the little things in practice, but it just doesn't carry over into the game. And, and that's where the frustration comes. You work on the stuff in practice, you think you got it down, you go to a game, guys drop balls, miss tackles.
And Mirer just slings it across his body. Kelvin Martin makes the reception. And it appears Martin will have the 1st down.
I think this may be the first passing 1st down we've seen in a long time. You see Martin just crossing the middle underneath the deep receiver. And in this case, in this zone, you can't let the receiver sit by himself. You've got to know where he is, and you've got to be able to react to him when that ball is thrown. He just had too much room.
Warren takes the pitch and gets some excellent yardage. He's up to the 32. And that'll be about a gain of 6 or 7 for Chris Warren.
And Steve Atwater was on the receiving end of quite a shot. This is one the guys are going to watch in films tomorrow, and they're going to get a good giggle, all at Steve's expense.
Oh,
but you got to put this on Warren. He is the guy that's been running hard, and he's the heart of this Seahawk team right now.
And it's Warren left. This time Denver's ready. Steve Atwater was the first to put the wraps on Warren.
Oh boy.
Second leading tackler for the Broncos, Steve Atwater, in his 6th year out of Arkansas, former #1 pick in '89.
Do you think he was a little agitated about the last play, getting run over? Comes up this time and just lays the brick to him.
4 straight Pro Bowls out of 5 NFL seasons.
Well, he has proven that he's a guy that gets out there and gets things done. A play like the 1-2 plays ago where he got knocked over, you don't see those very often.
3rd and 5. Mirer trying to do a John Elway impersonation, just throws it out of bounds, and pass intended for Brian Blades, but Mirer was just on the run trying to save the big loss. Ray Crockett was chasing him.
Well, great job by Crockett. When he saw him start to wheel out of the pocket, Crockett came out. He knew he had coverage over the top, so his zone would be covered by a safety or linebacker covering over the top. Crockett comes up, puts the hit on Mirer.
So Seattle in punt formation again. This has to be one of Rick Mirer's most dismal performances in his young NFL career. He's not getting a lot of help at times from the offensive line. What a booming punt by Rick Tootin, and Milburn is backed up. And and he'll get to just the 12. 61-yard boot by Rick Tootin, who comes into the game as the leading punter in the NFL with a 38-yard net average. Just improved it there.
It's North versus South.
Beyond that point. As Elway gets it out of the backfield to Leonard Russell. First down yardage. He's up to the 28.
Well, you know what? I also dressed in that locker room, Dan. Well, you know, much later, obviously.
But there weren't third floors then.
Well, they had renovated. And, you know, as you pan over to the right, too, there's some doors that goes back into that area. But they had renovated and actually had seeded the ground, and so we had a grass floor.
Oh, come on.
It was very nice.
You're kidding.
We liked walking around our bare feet, you know, those grass floor toes. No, I'm kidding.
By the way, Oakland won that game 38-14. And a little delay, shovel to Glenn Milburn. Milburn on the loose across the 45. That's part of the jet offense that the Broncos hoped would work.
Well, the thing you got to that people have to know in this jet offense, out of the shotgun, you think all they can do is run a draw. No, they got a draw. They've got a shovel pass, which they use a lot. And finally, we're seeing Glenn Milburn, who we felt and were told was going to be a big part of this, not just on third downs, but on first downs also. And here you see his ability to run, his style.
19 yards for Milburn. This is Derek Clark. Clark with a big pull. Eugene Robinson runs him out of bounds, but Clark picks up another first down. And now you get the feeling that Elway's mixing it up a little bit with the plays, and the offense is more in sync. 11 yards for Clark.
Oh, he's mixing it up very well, but I'm seeing on the defense for the Seahawks that they don't seem to be as pursuing as hard. They seem like they're starting to get a little frustrated.
Clark, rookie out of Evangel College. Free agent signee. Now Denver and Seattle territory at the 44. And the pass complete, Reggie Rivers. Rivers another good gain. Rufus Porter on the coverage. And Porter looks a little bit shaken up.
Now, Porter's been very active out there today. I'm sure he's a little sore, a little worn out, but he's going to keep himself in there. But you're right. I mean, Elway seems to be mixing it up. You know, Russell was a guy that he could count on, but now that he's got the passing game going, the short stuff is working well, he can mix it up, and it's really got the Hawks on their heels.
Elway has his man, Derek Russell. First down for the Broncos. All of a sudden, it's in high gear. Orlando Waters runs Russell out of bounds.
Now, this is the Denver Bronco offense that has actually been shoved down my personal throat a number of times. Thanks for the memories. Plenty of time sitting in there. The offensive line giving him great time. And John, you can see him looking. He's got great vision, looking all over the field, seeing which receivers are open and picking his man and going with the deep ones now instead of just the short ones to the flat.
Elway, lots of time, decides to try to muscle it down in the right corner. Derek Russell out there, but never had a shot. Robert Blackman was back there in the coverage of Russell.
Well, he knew he was pressured there. He knew he didn't have much more time to hold on to the ball. It wasn't a clean shot for the run. He had to take that throw. You know, that's a safe throw to make, going to the sidelines there. You throw it in front of your receiver. If he makes a good reception, is able to snag it and keep his feet in, you're a hero. If not, you've thrown the ball away and have saved it down.
At the Seahawks 25, 2nd and 10. The time in the world for Elway. And again, pretty much the same result. Good coverage by the Seahawks secondary. Elway had about 30 seconds back there, it seemed. But did he miss somebody?
Well, you know, that's the nature of this offense. It's a timing pattern offense. Shannon Sharpe, you see, wide open. He finishes his route and realizes, well, I got to keep moving, find an open spot. But you know what? That's the nature of this attack. It's timing patterns. John will go out, look for his first receiver. If he's not open, he goes to the second. If he's not open, he goes to the third. And he'll find the first open receiver in progression and throw it to him.
Trying to convert on third down. The ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. Russell, the intended receiver, Derrick. And here comes the field goal unit. 4th and 10. Ball at the 25. It'll be about a 42-yard attempt for Elam.
Well, when you're failing to get pressure on the quarterback, a lot of times what you're going to see happen, and coaches coach, they tell you, get your hands up, block the vision of the quarterback. But you see it happen quite a bit more when the guys aren't getting pressure.
Well, let's see if Jeff Campbell can get a hold on this one. He does. It's set. Elam with plenty of leg, and he's got the field goal. So there was a good snap, a good hold, and a field goal by Elam, and the Broncos increase it to 10-0.
In years to come, you'll be able to say that when Aurora was ready to go, so were you. See what happens when you demand better? Aurora by Oldsmobile.
Brace yourself for the action movie that's nothing less than brilliant. The Professional is an absolute knockout. Explosive and thrilling.
I'm dying to meet him.
A riveting, nail-biting film. It makes speed look like a slow ride to Grandma's house. From internationally acclaimed action director Luc Besson. The Professional, rated R, at theaters Friday.
I'd like a junior bacon cheeseburger made with fresh beef and 2 full strips of bacon. And I'd like that hot, right off the grill.
Want it hot? We'll make it hot.
Most places don't serve hamburgers hot off the grill. They reheat them. Not Wendy's. We make our 99-cent junior bacon cheeseburger with fresh beef, 2 strips of bacon, and hot off the grill. We think it tastes better. Just 99 cents on our super value menu.
It's everything you'd expect from Wendy's.
Get Dave's new book, Well Done, A Common Guy's Guide to Success. Dave's profits benefit adoption.
Who killed JFK and why?
Truth is the most important value we have.
Kevin Costner, Tommy Lee Jones, Sissy Spacek, John Candy, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Joe Pesci, Kevin Bacon, and Donald Sutherland in an Oliver Stone film. JFK, NBC Tonight.
Well, we've got the snap here, anatomy of a good kick. Snap still a little high. The team obviously very excited to finally have a successful field goal.
And there is Wade Phillips saying, yeah, we'll take it. You know, Jeff Campbell, who holds for Elam, didn't start doing that until Tommy Maddox was traded. And so Campbell, 5th year out of Colorado, has been forced into the holding duties, muffed one earlier, but able to get that one down for Elam. This is John Vaughn from the 2. Good return for Vaughn, close to the 35-yard line, and that's where Seattle will begin. Randy Hilliard, the special team stop for Denver, and the Seahawks in danger of losing their 6th straight.
Great job by Vaughn here. Gets the ball, he watches his guys set up their blocks. He sees a hole, and watch him, he just attacks it. He just kind of like dips the head a little bit, goes, hey, I'm going through here no matter what. Good, aggressive return by John Vaughn.
And now would be a good time for Seattle to get it in gear offensively. Short dump to Warren. Good play. Warren is into Denver territory. Steve Atwater brought him down.
Well, let me tell you something. As a defensive lineman, when you come clean for the quarterback, it's a great feeling. And you're going, I'm going to kill this guy. Now, a lot of times they're letting you through because it's a middle screen like this, and then you feel stupid. But for that 2 or 3 seconds, you feel like a hero. Great shot, a great pick of plays there by the Seattle Seahawks.
Second reception for Warren. And here's Warren on the run. Good yardage for him. He's up to about the 43. So it's been all Chris Warren.
Great job by Warren running around the outside. A little something here. Watch Ballard, the offensive tackle, to the right ear screen. His blocking technique here. Oh, is that blocking? No, I think that's holding. But if the ref doesn't see it, it ain't holding.
76 yards. Rushing total now for Warren. 2nd down and 3 after his 7-yard gain. And Meyer, the quick slant to Kelvin Martin for the 1st down. That was in sync.
Well, we're seeing a totally different attack right now. Before he was throwing the deep ones, the intermediate routes that just weren't working. He was way off. We saw earlier in the drive earlier the quick slant completion, starting to get the confidence back. Here you see the same thing, quick 3-step drop, and you just pump it to the guy. The quick slant over the middle, right in front of the coverage.
Looks like they're really trying to get Meyer's confidence back. The short dump to Warren, the quick slant to Martin.
You got to do it. I mean, you can be a hero by throwing the long pass, but if you're not getting the completions, you got to go with the sure thing.
Seattle's best penetration of the game. Meyer just throws this one away. Mike Kroll was pressuring Meyer.
Well, Mike Kroll was at a loss for what to do there. He came clearing through. As a defensive guy coming in, when you see the quarterback, you're supposed to get your hands up. You want to jump up and try and block the pass. But if you leave your feet, the quarterback's going to run. So he's kind of like hopping up and down trying to figure, should I go for the quarterback? Should I go for the block?
Well, Mike Kroll, remember what a great college career he had at Nebraska. He was really regarded as one of the fastest linebackers when he was at Nebraska. Now in his 4th year, chasing down quarterbacks for Denver. And again, the short dump. John Vaughn not able to get the handle on that.
The difference on that play, the defensive line were able to get some penetration, but the linebackers stayed in tight. They didn't drop into their coverage as deep. You see Mecklenburg really staying in close.
Mecklenburg's been all over the field, hasn't he?
May have even had a man-to-man coverage on that, but really, he saw it coming right from the beginning, was able to get in there and break that play up.
Okay, big play for the Seahawks, 3rd and 10. Whether they're going to keep this drive alive for a touchdown or maybe attempt a long field goal. Meyer going up top, going to Carlos Del Crumpler. Incomplete. A flag is down at the 5. Randy Hilliard was on the coverage of Crumpler.
Now, if this is on the Broncos, this is a big play for the Seahawks. It was very difficult. They're running shoulder to shoulder down the field. From our angle, we couldn't really see what was going on inside.
Well, Carlos Crumpler, rookie out of East Carolina, has been filling in for the past couple of weeks in an injury depleted.
Defensive pass interference, number 39. Spot foul, 1st down.
Well, it looked like as Crumpler was running, you'll see him coming on the right side of your screen. As he was running, the coverage was keeping his right hand down, bumping into him. I think that's what they saw, but I'll tell you what, it sure didn't seem very significant.
Big call against Denver, and now 1st and goal from just outside the 5, and they'll hear it from this end of the Mile High Stadium crowd. Myers, pass incomplete.
Well, the Broncos are upset. They are coming hard. They are attacking that line of scrimmage. They are attacking anybody who looks like they might be getting ready to catch a ball. Good pressure up front. Blitz from the outside.
Kelvin Martin juggling act there as Randy Hilliard again involved defensively. 2nd and goal. Meyer reaching for the end zone. He'll be short. Ray Crockett forcing Meyer out of bounds, and Rick Meyer didn't want to score there. He looked vertical as he reached for the end zone stripe.
Well, good pressure outside, both by Simon Fletcher and Shane Dronette. Meyer moving to the outside, getting the corner, and just figured I got to...
Look at that. How close was that?
You know what? If his right hand hadn't touched out of bounds, that might have been called a touchdown. You saw his right hand landed out of bounds before the ball crossed the end.
He had the presence of mind to go with the left arm, though, to try to get it in, because that was the better percentage call by him.
Great job.
We'll be back to see if the Seahawks can punch it through on 3rd and goal.
Now, an unexpected moment from the world of sports, brought to you by AT&T. In 1982, Cross Bay rivals Stanford and California Berkeley squared off in a Pac-10 showdown. Stanford took the lead on a field goal with just seconds remaining. For Cal, it appeared all but over.
The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the Bailey is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to go into the end zone.
Cal proved that in sports, there are no guarantees.
Mr. Thompson!
Hey, heard about the big savings I can get you over AT&T on your business long-distance bill?
Big savings?
Oh, sure.
Let's just check that out by calling this number here, 1-800-COMPARE.
Can I see that hacksaw?
Right after I call 1-800-COMPARE.
Wow, are those left-handed tin snips?
Can't believe the big savings claims? For the facts, call 1-800-COMPARE, and AT&T will guarantee you competitive long-distance prices.
I can fix that for you.
1-800-COMPARE, the number other long-distance companies don't want you to call. AT&T, for the life of your business.
How you doing? Name's Red Dog. Red Dog. And I see a lot of you dogs out there yipping and yapping, chasing after anything that moves. Well, you know, sometimes you ought to lay low. And even when someone's trying to yank your chain, just let it ride. Red Dog. Be your own dog. So that when something good does come your way.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth. Easy to drink.
You can make the most of it.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. A great lineup of games from coast to coast. Joe Montana and the Chiefs take on Eric Metcalf and the Browns. Dan Marino and the Dolphins battle the Steelers. Boomer and the Jets take on Warren Moon and the Vikings. Or regional action. Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern on NBC.
Check out the reception.
Rick Meyer, great presence of mind to switch hands here to get the close arm of the goal line. Watch his right hand go out of bounds before the ball crossed the end line. Great call by the official.
They marked it at the 1, 3rd and goal. To the end zone, knocked down. 4th and goal for Tom Flores now, and it's decision time.
Well, it looks like Big Ted Washington in the middle. You know, that's kind of interesting. I mean, their running game is what's been getting them going. Their short passing game that has been kind of iffy, just coming around. Why would they go to a pass in a situation where the run has been working so well, especially when you've got Chris Warren running so well?
In 2 cracks to get 1 yard.
Yeah.
But now they'll take no chances and get the sure field goal, but field goals today have been anything but sure.
Right. You know, you go with what you can get, but it's still a close game, so it's a good choice just going for the field goal.
This will be a 20-yard chip shot. And Casey punches it through. So Seattle, with 1 minute and 58 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, gets on the board for the first time today, but they trail by a touchdown. Let's take a break, send it back to our New York studios, and Greg Gumbel. Greg.
All right, Dan, at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, the Packers have regained the lead. Brett Favre, 17 yards to Anthony Morgan. They're in the final minute and change of the 3rd quarter. The Packers lead the New York Jets 14-10. Dan and Bob, back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg. Seattle back in the game now, trying to break a 5-game losing streak. The Denver Broncos just 1-3 at home this season at Mile High, and that does not speak very highly of a team which has had such a great home field advantage. One of the best in the NFL over the years.
Look at the stands. I mean, these guys are 3-6, and they still filling the place up. But you know what? Think about that about the field goal, though. That's the first opportunity that the Seahawks have had to get that close to the goal line. You know, they really haven't been able to sustain a drive. They've been able to put short little spurts together where they've shown some things, and they had to punt. That was the close they've gotten. either they just felt like they had to get the points, or they felt like, they were going to be able to sustain something again, like they've gained some momentum. But we'll see how it goes.
Left-footed Casey sends it to Butler by Note from just about a foot deep in the end zone, and he's across the 20. Pretty good return by Butler by Note, brought down by Terrence Warren.
Pretty good pronunciation of that name also.
Rookie out of Ohio State. Bainote was forced to play cornerback last week against the Rams for the first time in '94 because of injuries. And speaking of injuries, Warren a little slow getting up. But Bainote is the 7th round draft pick for Denver this year out of Ohio State. Averaging over 22 yards a kickoff return. Very versatile college career for Bainote. Denver sets up from the 24. To feel the pressure behind him, and just before it gets there, gets it away to Milburn. Boy, he had Seahawks crawling down his neck.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you face John Elway, you can do a couple things in pass rush. Watch here, they're bull rushing. You lock up into the guy in front of you, you push straight ahead, you maintain control of the man in front of you and try him, drive him back into the John Elway's face. That's because he is so dangerous on the run. When you run games, you can open up gaps. By bull rushing, you can try and maintain those lanes. But I'll tell you what, it wears you down as the game goes on.
Russell. Seattle ready for him at the line of scrimmage, drives him back. But another perfect example of Elway seeming to sense any pressure. That was Michael McCrary on the last play. But, boy, pleasure to watch. You just do not see those kinds of instincts.
You know what? You call it instinct, but when you got a guy with that sweaty and that bad breath breathing down your neck, it's a little bit more than instinct. You got a guy out there working for 2 hours, sweating and stuff. It doesn't take a psychic to notice somebody there.
3rd and 4. Okay, we'll take your word for that one, Bob.
That was one of them, Dan.
Well, he smells them now, but he gets out across the 30. Finds his way to what appears to be another first down. Look at Elway's even smiling after that scramble. Cortez Kennedy chasing him down as the final seconds tick off.
Well, I think John really, he senses the team really coming together and starting to get some consistency. And he's starting to feel good about himself. It looks like he's kind of like feeling like he's a kid again. The little cuts and swerves and dragging guys with him. Playing a great game.
End of the 3rd quarter. Denver 10-3. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tuesday, Frazier's got a hot date with JoBeth Williams, but a woman from his past could ruin his weekend.
Frazier?
She's back.
Oh, my God!
All new NBC Tuesday.
Randall, may I talk to you for a second? That's all right.
Do the Eagles really have a shot?
Yes, we do. It's the game plan, Randall.
Mr. Cunningham.
How you going to handle the rest?
Can you sign my jacket?
Listen, kid, I'm running late, but I'll sign it after the game.
But I'm not going to the game.
You are now.
When you wear a pro player, it's not just your jacket people notice. It's your attitude.
Hey, Randall, you're the man.
No, you're the man.
Pro player, wear the attitude.
Not so long ago, Honda Accord and Toyota Camry were considered standards in the industry. Yet in the last 2 years, Dodge Intrepid has received more awards from the major automotive press than either of them. At a time when other companies were trying to catch up, we said, hey, why not pass? Now get up to $1147 in total savings and package values during the Dodge Intrepid equipment sale.
Saying it doesn't matter what doctor you see is like saying it doesn't matter what club you use. It matters.
To have a choice of doctors, choose HMO Colorado.
I don't care if it's an HMO, PPO, or UFO, as long as I can see my doctor.
To have a choice of doctors, choose HMO Colorado. The only HMO from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Colorado.
Good choice.
You're watching News 4, home of the Colorado Buffaloes.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Beginning of the 4th quarter, 1st and 10 for the Broncos. They lead at 10-3. And Milburn. Nowhere to run. Burton Gray and Bob Spitulski made sure of it.
Well, very slow hitting running play out of the Jet package. Basically, kind of trying to run it a little bit like like one of those counter tray OTs where you bring the backside people around the block, do the stutter step by the running back, but it was just so slow in developing, gave the defense all kinds of time to figure it out.
Loss of 2, second down and 12. Elway into the flats. Milburn with another try from the left side, and maybe a yard, if any. Orlando Waters and McCluen out there to meet it.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, as a guy who, when you go out there and you do well and you perform, you start to draw attention to yourself. Here, Milburn having the ball thrown to him. Two guys, very quick. They see him out in the flat. They know that he's going to be the guy they're going to. And he's most dangerous. They got to get two guys up on him, especially when you dump him the ball in the flat like that, because he can move.
No gain, 3rd and 12. Elway with a lot of time. He wanted Russell on the curl route and picked off. Orlando Waters, rookie out of Arkansas, with his 2nd career interception. And Russell, Derek that is down.
Orlando Waters has had a great day being involved in just about everything. Here, very quickly reacts, steps in front of the receiver. Good reaction, good awareness.
Is it Diet Dr. Pepper or regular Dr. Pepper? This highly sensitive piece of equipment can't tell, but more importantly, neither can this one. Discover what millions already have, the great taste of Diet Dr. Pepper.
All over the world, when people are late, you're guaranteed to hear excuses.
The alarm clock broke.
Mein Goldfisch ist gestorben.
Problème des cheveux?
At UPS, however, we guarantee we'll be on time. In fact, we guarantee on-time delivery to hundreds of cities around the world, or your money back. So while you might hear, you'll never hear it from us.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Because 94 Fleer Ultra Football has more goals, more photos, and more incredible inserts featuring superstars and hot rookies. There's one insert card in every pack. Fleer Ultra, better than ever.
Why is Ford Taurus America's best-selling car? Maybe it's because of our philosophy of continuous improvement. A philosophy that this year brings you a new version of Taurus, Taurus SE, with a driver-oriented interior and sporty new looks. Or maybe it's because along with all these improvements, Taurus is still a better value than its leading competition. In fact, there are a lot of reasons why Ford Taurus is the best-selling car in America, again.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor orders. By the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Heineken, the #1 imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough.
Well, here's the interception that John Elway just experienced. Ball thrown to Derek Russell. He made the break to the outside instead of coming back on the ball. Now, the angle is there's a real small angle that John has to throw it in there to complete it. Orlando Waters able to step. Good reaction, good awareness of where that ball was being thrown. Good timing on getting in and grabbing it.
2nd interception of the day for John Elway. Earlier in the game, Wooden came up with one, and now Waters. And Derek Russell is still down. Tried to detect what the injury might have been, but couldn't tell from the replay. But he is surrounded by an array of Bronco officials. Denver leading at 10-3, 13:58 left in the final quarter. As we take another look at Russell. And it did appear that Waters fell on top of Russell.
It's just hard to tell if it was lower body, upper body.
Russell in his 4th year out of Arkansas, the 4th round pick in '91, and you don't like to see the stretcher being brought out, but We hope that it's just a precautionary measure and that Russell is all right.
Well, it's a scary game. You know, you go out there and things happen. You know, injuries occur. You play with a lot of them.
Russell.
And every once in a while, something like this happens, and it really, you know, there's a sense among players. You know, you get out there and you feel like you're almost invincible because you can take the hits, you can take the beatings, you can do all this stuff and come back the next week and be fine. And every once in a while, something happens where, you know, you realize that there is a mortality, and it's scary. Serious stuff can happen out there, and it really snaps you around.
Concerned Broncos, Elway and Shannon Sharp. Watching Russell, appears they're ready to pick him up, but he finished tied he had a great year last year in '93. He finished tied for second on this team with 44 catches, racking up 700 plus yards. Has been very active today as we take another look to see if we can detect.
He's just trying to make the tackle. It's very difficult to tell what happens there. I mean, it doesn't seem like anything twisted. You know, perhaps the head making contact with the ground. I mean, that's a possibility. But you know, I'll tell you what, with something like this, you don't want to sit and speculate. So we will wait and see what the indication is.
And if you've just joined us, we'll give you the scoring summary. It hasn't been a lot of scoring today. John Elway with the only touchdown by either team, a 12-yard run in the second quarter. Jason Elam added a field goal in the third quarter to make it 10-0, and then John Casey added a 20-yard field goal at the end of the third quarter to bring us to our current 10-3 margin. We're going to take a break. We'll check on the condition of Derek Russell and try to have more information when we return.
When is a minivan not a minivan? When you turn old thinking upside down and make it longer and wider for a smoother, secure ride. Next is safety with a capital S, making it the only minivan that combines standard dual airbags, 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and anti-lock brakes, which should suit you to a T. And erase any idea that the new Ford Windstar is just another minivan. The future belongs to Windstar.
Castrol GTX, the motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your oil breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown.
He's a private investigator.
I hear the lady screaming my name. Shane! Shane!
Where's Lorena Bobbitt when you need her?
She's his new partner.
Mike Tyson can beat Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
Mike Tyson can't spell Muhammad Ali.
Together, they're putting the competition to shame.
If you sing James Brown songs, dogs will not attack.
1, 2, 3. Keenan Ivory Wayans. Jada Pinkett.
Keep your day job.
A low-down, dirty shame. Rated R. Starts November 23rd.
This is one long game.
They even ran out of food.
The fans must be hungry.
When it's football action, it's gotta be Domino's. So call now and ask for our football special.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and ask for our football special. When it's got to be good and it's got to be now, it's got to be Domino's.
Very quiet the last several minutes before now the applause for Derek Russell as he is taken off in the stretcher. They have mobilized his head, so that it appears that they're concerned about that part, perhaps. But as you said, Bob, a scary moment and not worth speculating at this point as to the condition of Derek Russell. 13:58 left in the game. Denver with a 10-3 lead. The injury to Derek Russell occurring on the interception by Orlando Waters for Seattle, and it's put the Seahawks in business. 1st and 10 at the Bronco 43. Flips it out to Warren. And Warren is turned around at about the 30 or 41-yard line. Randy Hilliard on the stop of Warren. Warren on the ground, Warren through the air today. It's been a big day for Chris Warren.
We talked about him coming in. He's been one of the bright spots for the team this year. Unfortunately, you can't thrive on just one bright spot. Making the move. You know, that's what's great about him. He has the size to run people over, but he also has the quickness to juke those little cornerbacks when they come up and try to make the hit.
And here's Warren on the ground. Breaks loose into the Broncos secondary. First down all the way down to the Denver 28. Steve Atwater puts the stop on Warren, but not before 13 more yards.
Did you see that? He makes the break. He gets in there, stops in his tracks. Just see him right here. Stop. Accelerate. You know, here's a guy. He's just letting things happen around him, and just, you know, we talk about a running back's vision. You know, it's something that you can talk about, but you don't really understand. You know, when you're running through carrying the ball, everybody's trying to hit you. A lot of times you don't see it. These guys see everything.
Well over the 100-yard mark, rushing and receiving for Warren. This time out of the backfield is Steve Smith. And Smith, another first down for Seattle. Atwater again ran him out of bounds.
We got a flag down the line of scrimmage. The Broncos are indicating it's against the Seahawks. Here's a little short dump pass to Steve Smith in a flat. Here's a guy that will hurt you if you try to tackle him.
Motion. Number 89 offense was moving forward at the snap while he was in motion.
One of the few times we've called Brian Blades' number, but
I think he's just getting anxious.
Not for a reception.
It's amazing, a guy, you know, you're looking for tools and looking for bright spots in an offense to get something generated. Brian Blades is a guy that has always been there, except today.
A neck injury for Derek Russell. They don't know how serious it is, but they are taking all the precautionary measures. First and 15 for Martin. Martin makes the reception.
Well, that's
Ray Crockett on the stop.
That's the pass that started the beginning of this half, that started getting his confidence back. That little quick slant over the middle, three-step drop by Meyer, identical to the one that started off this half.
Martin gains 5, and second down and 5. Ball at the 23 of Denver. Broncos lead it by 7. 11:52 left. Chris Warren has another first down, and the end zone's on his mind now. Touchdown, Seattle. Seventh rushing touchdown of the year for Chris Warren. 8th overall.
And we can't talk enough about this guy. He sees the blocks, he watches them develop, and just runs away from people. He finds the best angle. You see him once he breaks into the open. Look here, you see he bounces to the outside, reads the blocks of the offensive line. He sees and you calculate in your mind what is the best angle to get away from these defenders, and he's been very good at finding that out today.
Casey with the extra point. And with 11:39 left, we are tied at 10 in the Mile High City. Chris Warren's over 100 yards. The Seahawks are in the hunt.
You build a razor with precision heads to shave below the skin in comfort. And what do you get? Cut a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave even closer. And what do you get? Build a razor that shaves closer, smoother than ever before. And what do you get? The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
Fun. Everybody loves fun. Fun people, fun places, fun cars and trucks. What's great is when you can get a fun car or truck and still have enough money to take fun people to fun places, which is what Ford Probe, Escort Sport, and Ford Ranger are all about. They're all priced right all of the time, so a good time can be had by all. Ford. A good deal, more fun. And now for a limited time, get up to $1,000 cash back on Ford Probe and special savings on Escort and Ford Ranger.
Our banker was mortified. 2 successful lawyers, and you have a great law practice. What in the world do you want to lose all your money for? We're in show business. We're having fun. Our dream is to open a restaurant in Rome. We cannot wait until we have barbecue chicken pizza in Rome.
We have something like 4,000 employees now.
The American Express corporate card makes managing our business easier for them and easier for us.
The American Express corporate card can help you get a bigger slice of the pie.
Hoop it up! The world's largest basketball tournament hits the court when the men's champions face Larry Bird's team of NBA legends next Saturday on NBC.
Hoop it up!
Chris Warren, 112 yards, his fourth 100-yard rushing day of the season, the 10th of his career, and the 7th for Chris Warren this season. So all of a sudden, Bob Golick, a 10-10 tie when it appeared that Denver was in control, 10-0. They've come back with a Casey field goal, and then the 23-yard scamper by Chris Warren.
Yeah, they, you know, we saw them struggling a lot early. Rick Meyer just not able to generate anything. Chris Warren almost single-handedly has done it himself, and you know, Denver, who really felt they had the momentum going into the second half, all of a sudden they're in a dogfight.
And let's remember, Orlando Waters had the interception, which set up that scoring drive. 11:39 it took before Warren capped it off. And we are tied at 10 with 11:39 left. Well over the head of Glenn Milburn. Did Casey get into that one? Is that the altitude of Denver?
A little bit of an adrenaline rush. Yeah, that's it. It's the thin air.
Well, John Elway's not through. There's a lot of time left, 11:33 to go, and the Denver offense seems to be a little bit more in sync.
Well, he's the guy that has always done it in the past. You know, he's the guy that could come in with just about any small amount of time left, and he could bring the team back.
Cedric Tillman is split wide to the right. Derek Russell injured and out of the game. Broncos from the 20. Leonard Russell still going to the 40. Gain of 20 for Leonard Russell. Eugene Robinson ran him out of bounds, and Russell is slow to get up.
Well, it's the battle of the big backs. See who can get the most yardage. Again, Russell bouncing to the outside. Great block by Anthony Miller to help pop him, giving him about an extra 10 yards. But look at it from the end zone. Again, you know, it's hard for a defense when the ball starts at one point there. Obviously, it was supposed to start right up the middle. But when you bounce it outside, it becomes all reaction. And if a team doesn't play where they're stay in their gaps where they're supposed to stay, you know, there's going to be big plays like this scored against them.
You mentioned the battle of the big backs. Leonard Russell is set to go over the 100-yard mark. Chris Warren already is there. Derek Clark now the single setback. Quick kick, wide open. Shannon Sharp spinning his way close to midfield. Close to a first down. Terry Wooden made the stop. Third catch of the afternoon for Sharp.
Well, Shannon Sharp, he's an amazing guy. He really loves this game, and he's playing with the pain. Here we see Terry Wooden dropping back in his zone. He picks up Shannon Sharp crossing, making the play. You know what? I think that if we had a healthy Shannon Sharp, we would have seen a little bit of a move there and possibly pick up a little more yardage. We saw his frustration in getting up, that he wasn't able to get it and get the first down.
Fake to Clark. Over the middle is Clark. Clark got 5 more yards before he's brought down by Rod Stevens. Clark, the free agent rookie, came into the ball game with only 3 receptions, adding to his total here. Started week 3 for the injured Rod Bernstein. Before turning the corner along the left side. Stevens is there. Had a pretty good block up front by John Melander.
They also had a blitz coming from the opposite side, and they obviously ran away from it, allowing them to get a little bit extra yardage. But there he is, breaking to the outside. Good flow by the Seattle defense. But you know, when the guy's that big and he's got the momentum, he's going to pick up some yardage.
Not quite enough there for the first down. The Broncos need 2 on third down. They'll give it to Rivers. With the lead block of Clark, looks like he came up short. So that would be a huge stop for Seattle defensively if indeed Rivers came up short.
Well, they're running a play, and they're signaling for referees are signaling that it's fourth down. They're running a play that starts to the outside and just continues outside, and the defense just reads it and goes along. Everything that they've had so far that has been successful has been a play that has started at one point and has bounced other, either bounced outside or cut back.
Well, he is short by less than a yard, and the Broncos will go for it. Russell get a chance at it. He might have been stopped. The flag is thrown down.
Well, he was. If they mark it where the ref's standing now, he was stopped short. But I'll tell you what, it's that bark that John Elway has that just draws. You know, when you're trying to really hone in and get off on the ball.
Defense offside.
Yep.
Left tackle. 5 yards. First down.
When you're talking about a half a foot or half a yard, as a defensive player, you've got to be so keen on getting off on the ball. You're really just wound up like tight, like a spring. John Elway, and there's a couple other quarterbacks in the league that have that ability. They bark out that arrhythmic cadence, which throws you off and once in a while will snap somebody off sides just like that.
David Brandon called for the penalty.
I don't think John didn't do that on purpose.
Elway sets complete. Jerry Evans, the tight end, with a reception. Carlton Gray on the stop. Jerry Evans came into the game with just 6 catches all season. And with the continued hurting ways of Shannon Sharp, Elway counting on him here.
Well, they're going to him here, and a great throw and great catch. Not much of a run. But, you know, they went to him early, and there was a couple of shots early where they went to him, tried to get him the ball. He didn't get it. But he seems like they're the guy that they want to try and include now that Shannon is bumped up a little bit.
2nd and 5, 6:57 left. 10-10 tie. Elway from the shotgun. Going deep down the left side, Anthony Miller. First down for Denver. Carlton Gray runs Miller out of bounds. Gain of 11 for Anthony Miller.
Good pressure up front on John Elway. Great concentration by John. Coming in late, just getting a little neck on him. Anthony Miller, great position, great control of the body to go up, twist his body around and get a hold of that. But I'll tell you what, a quarterback who can throw a ball at that angle and hit it, complete it like that, great concentration. And it's good to see Anthony Miller really becoming a part of this O.
He's been rough on the Seahawks defense in his illustrious career. This time out of the backfield, it's Reggie Rivers. Rivers close to another first down to about the 11. Terry Wooden made the stop on Rivers.
Well, I thought that touchdown by the Seahawks was going to give them some momentum. You know, tying it up with the last fourth quarter like this, I thought it would really bring them back. But the Broncos at this point are mixing things up so well that they've got the Seahawks just guessing at what's going to come next.
2nd and short. A long one. And Russell has the first down inside the 5. Did he get in? Yes. The touchdown. 5:43 left. Denver retakes the lead.
Well, this is it. This is what I said before. This is what's working. Give it to him. Let him start at the middle of the line. Then bounce the ball to where the openings are. There you see him fighting and squirming, reaching out, getting the ball over the goal line. After he scored, went over in the corner, laid down.
Yeah, he's had a lot of carries today.
That's what you do after the big score. You go take a rest.
9th rushing touchdown. Elam it's 17-10. So the Broncos respond to the Seattle score, and they have the lead by a touchdown.
Introducing.
You've got Leonard Russell behind the quarterback. Reggie Rivers the other back. Watches the defensive line get swept down. Reggie Rivers getting the block on the outside man, allowing Leonard Russell to break it to the outside. As an offensive team, that's what you really you look for. You go out there and you make the block. You make the hit on the guy. You seal him off. And a good running back, if you know that he's running well, you know he's going to find the spot to go. And that's what Leonard Russell did.
And with that scamper, Russell over the 100-yard mark. He's got 109. This is John Vaughn. And Vaughn, late flag came in as Vaughn reached across the 25. Seattle with one timeout left. The clock stopped at 5:33. They trailed at 17-10. And Bob, we'll see if...
Oh, he's got a big future ahead of him.
Number 7, but of a little smaller proportions.
Somebody better
holding during the return, number 33, 10 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Now, did you see that flag came from a long way away? Now, I think the rule of thumb should be if the referee can't throw the flag to the point of the infraction, that means he's too far away to see it. I think it's a good rule of thumb. Maybe next year at their owners' meetings they'll talk about it.
Maybe you can get on the rules committee.
If you can't hit the infraction with your flag, then you can't see it.
Okay, here we go. Seattle from the 14. Rick Meyer in a venue which has been made legendary, famous by John Elway's comebacks. Let's see what the second-year player can do. He'll run it out of trouble. And find Dronette for more trouble and throw it away. So good job by Meyer not only to escape the pressure, but throw the ball away and give his team another shot on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he had no time even to set up and look. He dropped back, play action, set up, and as soon as he turns, he sees Simon Fletcher coming up the middle. Dronette chasing him on the outside, forcing him. Dronette had a great angle on him, too, forcing him to lose ground. At this point, Meyer in his mind is going, I got to get rid of this thing. And plus, it's taken so long to drift over to that side of the field that the defense has already slid over, too, and everybody's covered.
Another flag is thrown as Brian Blades makes the reception, but one in the defensive secondary of Denver and another along the line of scrimmage, and Larry Nemmers will sort it out again.
Delay a game before the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. It'll still be 2nd down.
Seahawks.
There's no flag by the umpire on the play. No foul.
Not doing themselves any favors as far as giving Meyer a chance to lead this late comeback.
Well, you mentioned here's a guy, can he start to establish a legend of his own as a second-year player? And so far, so bad.
Brian Blades has not made a reception all day.
I don't understand how a guy who is such a strong and effective tool that you have on your offense just can be so effectively eliminated.
I got a feeling you'd have to look for Blades right now. 2nd down and 15. Seattle backed up at the 10. More flags. It looked like the offensive left side of the line moved, and Ray Roberts may get called for it. Believe this. Pretty soon they're going to be in the end zone.
Ball start prior to the snap. 73. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Tom Flores can't believe it. See on the left side of your screen, Ray Roberts, Jeff Blackshear. Ray jumps first. You know, it's one of those things, it's a concentration problem. You know, you're so keyed up. You're worried about doing things right. You're worried about doing your job. But this is the time you have to focus. You can't worry about what's going on around you. You got to do your job.
2nd and 20.
Meyer just dumps it to Warren. He'll get a big chunk of it back and more. He's going to get the first down across the 30, 40.
Randy Hilliard chased Warren, but not before a huge gain. 51-yard scamper by Chris Warren.
Well, very surprising because the Denver Broncos only came with a three-man rush up front, which means there should have been a lot of guys back there, linebackers, DBs, to come up and make the hit. Great block by Donaldson there. You're going to see Paul Green come in there, get a block on the outside, letting him break to the outside and pick up the yardage. Chris Warren, normally they get knocked out of bounds. I think at this point, as Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations and just kind of hit it pretty out of bounds.
Under 5 minutes. Steve Smith gives Warren a breather. Big play. Seattle was backed up at its own 5, second down and 20, and Warren gives them more than breathing room. He gets them into Denver territory as the clock ticks down with 4:40 left.
Going back to that play, that big game by Warren, it was such a team effort on that one. He caught that ball, and obviously he's a guy that can make the run himself. But there were some big blocks by Green, by Ray Donaldson, by the other offensive lineman up front that really sprung him.
And this is Vaughn. Vaughn will be short. They'll bring up third down.
I wouldn't call that short. I'd call that not even close. About 3rd and 4. You got to wonder. I mean, Vaughn is a guy who's not that big of stature. You don't want to send him inside. Now when you got a guy like Steve Smith who's got a neck roll up to his ears.
Third down. They're calling it 3. From the shotgun, Kelvin Martin trying to haul it in. Incomplete. Well, Martin was spun around a little bit, but by the frustration, he seems to feel that he should have had it.
Well, he's a professional. He goes out there. He knows that there's going to be times that the balls aren't going to come to him like they do at practice when you're playing catch. He's frustrated at that, but you also got to look at Rick Meyer, who's still just a little bit off.
Seahawks with 3:35 left. Go for it on 4th and a long 3. And they appear to have gotten it. It'll come down to where they spot Brian Blades. And Blades, by the way, reception number 1.
Well, we talked about
the
him,
biggest one.
We talked about him being the big play guy and hasn't been used at all. Well, the time where you needed a big play, they give it to him.
First down for Brian Blades.
Well, the Broncos really came with everybody that time and just kind of cleared out that underneath. Blades obviously able to find a little open spot, but Broncos trying to put a lot of pressure on Meyer at this time.
Seahawk drive alive at the Denver 31. Warren. Big hole. And Chris Warren, who had 112 yards rushing before that carry, picks up another good gain before Steve Atwater brings him down.
Well, you're going to see the offensive line for the Seahawks doing a great job at controlling the defense right there. They push the center of the line back about a yard and a half, opening the lanes up for Warren to be able to find that cutting lane.
They need 3. They give it to Warren. Warren to about the 21. Close, but it appears he is short. They may measure.
Talk about a workhorse. He is just a guy that's doing everything for them today.
In '93, made his first Pro Bowl and really was the big reason why the Seahawks led the AFC in rushing yards per game last year at 126. And he will be short.
I don't know about the mark on that one. I thought he was a little bit closer than that.
It was a little closer than a foot or a foot and a half.
I think the one thing we're looking at right now is the offensive line is doing very, very well also.
Reminder that following the game on most of these stations, it's an all-new Earth 2, followed by an all-new Sequest. Then Kevin Costner stars in the network television premiere of JFK. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows starting at their regularly scheduled times. Big play as the clock ticks down toward the 2-minute warning, and the Seahawks may just let it go. And they do. So it will be 3rd down and less than a yard for Tom Flores and Seattle.
KFC presents the Colonel's Playbook. What play will the Eagles call with 4 seconds left? Should they run a sweep, a pass across the middle, or try a fade?
Over the years, some pretty hungry folks have stopped by my place.
The Mega Meal from KFC is back.
I like Mega Meal.
Your choice of chicken, a ton of side dishes, even a...
It'd be a good time for Seattle to get just its second 3rd down conversion. Warren tries to get it. Denver's there to meet him. He's going to be short. Elijah Alexander, the first to meet Warren. And he lost a yard, maybe. The clock continuing to wind down. The Seahawks with 1 timeout left.
The Broncos brought everybody up on that line of scrimmage. They didn't anticipate any kind of a throw. Now, we were talking before we went going, should they maybe dump it off real quick? And I'm thinking, I hate that, but it might have worked out.
The end zone, but here's the big play now. 4th and 2. Myers pass incomplete. Denver takes over on downs. Meyer thought about running it, elected to try to swing it across his body to Brian Blades, but it's incomplete.
You know, I never wanted to be one of those guys that second guess, but he should have gone.
He should have run.
He should have run with it. You see him kind of looking for the receivers, and here, right here, he's got a couple of guys downfield, but you know, he's got at least 5-6 yards to play with where he can go in and dive for that first. But instead, he tries to force it into Brian Blades, who basically has 2 guys right on him, and throws it behind.
It did appear that Rick Meyer, had he elected to run, may have had a better shot to pick up the 1st down, and Denver will force Seattle to call another timeout with 1:14 left.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, we gotta pick an MVP for the game. We like Chris Warren, but you know what? I think we got to go with John Elway.
Bottom line is really in this game, if you're searching for an MVP, is who's going to win, and John Elway found a way today. Still 1:14 left, but the employee owners of Avis salute the game's MVP, number 7, as the winner of today's We Tried Harder award. It was John Elway who accounted for the only score in the first half. And when things seem to be caving in on Denver, it's always John Elway that seems to carry the team on his shoulder and
it really
another victory.
And you know, a lot of people have been down on him this year because they feel that he hasn't had the magic that he had before. He hasn't been able to have the comebacks that he was so famous for, those 33 times that we have recorded. But he's still a guy that goes out there and leads that team and gets it done.
And how good is he? We name him our MVP despite throwing a couple of interceptions. And the clock continuing to tick down, 1:02. The Avis We Try Harder MVP goes to John Elway. The Denver Broncos trying to erase the frustrations of last week's loss to Los Angeles. Will be at home against Atlanta and Cincinnati in their next 2 games. It's the first time since '83 that the Broncos have enjoyed a 3-game homestand, and if they're going to get into the playoffs or even think about it, Bob, they've really pretty much got to sweep these next 2 at home.
You have to, and you know, you want to call it momentum, whatever you want to call it, but you've got a chance to be on friendly territory, and you feel like you've got something going. You got to and you know, and the way, as I said before, the way the AFC West is, if you keep plugging away and you get some wins, you may be able to come out of it.
Denver improves to 4-6, and the losing streak continues for Seattle. Now at 6 and counting, and they fall to 3-7. Seattle next week maybe getting a break hosting Tampa Bay, but you never know when things are going as rough as they've gone for Seattle.